Down to the questioning. First question will be posed by Dan Rodricks and to Ms. Edwards.
Thank you. Given the recent terrorist attacks, such as the bombings in Brussels, what should the U.S. do to combat the threat of terrorism? And specifically, would you support a substantial commitment of U.S. ground troops to counter the Islamic State, also known as ISIS, in northern Iraq and Syria?
I think it's really important for the United States, particularly with respect to Europe, to play a much more informative and advisory role to our European partners, especially in terms of intelligence sharing, intelligence gathering, to be able to root out some of the domestic and homegrown terrorism. With respect to ISIS, I don't believe that it's appropriate for the United States to add more ground troops to the Iraq and Syria theater. But we are making tremendous progress in Iraq and Syria on the ground with Iraqi forces, with Kurdish forces. That evidence just today with the killing of a top ISIS leader. And so I think it's important for us here in the United States to protect our domestic security, to make sure that we have communications among all communities so that we are participants in our own security, and to make sure that our European partners have the ability to have the information to which we gather, and to share that information so that they can better protect their interests on the ground.
Thank you very much, Ms. Edwards. Any rebuttal?
Well, my heart and all our hearts go out to the people of Brussels. I've been very involved in foreign policy issues since my days working on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee with Senator Sarbanes, and been very involved in focusing on this region of the world. And we need to do everything possible to provide our allies with the weapon systems and the help they need to roll back and stop and ultimately destroy ISIS, because we see what's happening as a result of ISIS presence around the world. I do not believe that we should put American combat forces on the ground. I strongly oppose the decision to put American combat forces on the ground in Iraq, and we are still seeing to this day the consequences of that bad decision, including the rise of ISIS. So we need to provide the Iraqi forces and our Kurdish forces with the training and weapons they need to continue to push back against ISIS, and we will succeed in this battle. We need to be firm and stand with our European allies and our friends in the Middle East.
Okay, thank you. Any rebuttal? Next question.